I don't know where to begin, so I'll start from the point that I recall. My wife and I went shopping at a flea market on Saturday morning. Kind of an odd place, seeing as how they sold a little bit of everything. But as we walked around the crowded aisles, she found an antique mirror that she loved. And on top of that, it was marked down from $200 to $20. Guess the shopkeeper had trouble selling it and was ready to unload it. We figured that we got extra lucky catching such a good deal, so we bought it and took it home. It had an odd gold trim that looked like a serpent's tail wrapping around the mirror. The top of it had 5 feathers sticking out at odd angles, and the outer parts of the mirror were cloudy, and bits of it looked like it was flaking off. It honestly seemed like a horrible mirror, but it made her happy, and that's what I thought was important. The part that stuck out to me the most was the inscription at the bottom, Moris Vincit Omnia, a Latin phrase that I was certainly butchering, but it made me feel uneasy, like it was telling me the purpose of its design, but I just didn't understand it. I pushed away my reservations about it and hung it in the bedroom, but each time I looked at it, it filled me with dread. The world looked slightly off in the mirror. I would swear that I'd see shadows that didn't exist, or my reflection would have a smile for a split second that I wasn't making. At the time, I just assumed it was my mind messing with me. I wish I had listened to my instincts about the damn thing. The first time I became aware of the strange properties of the mirror was the next night. After tossing and turning for a few hours, I got up to get a drink of water. As I walked by the mirror in the room, the reflection just looked wrong. Taking a closer look, I saw a scene that made little sense. My reflection was there, but it was not me in front of it. Instead, my reflection was standing over the bed, looking at my wife. I turned around and rushed to confront whatever was just in the reflection moments ago. But when I was facing the bed, it was gone. Nothing was there to confront. It had to be a waking nightmare. That's what I told myself, at least. The following morning, I went to work, but I was extremely tired. I think I barely got anything done, and all I could think about was trying to make sense of what I saw the night before. I felt drained and ready to get some rest. However, when I got home, I found no relief. Instead, just more terrifying questions. My wife asked me if I was ready to talk now and why I didn't go to work. I told her I had no idea what she was talking about. I just got home. I saw the color drain from her face and she rushed towards our bedroom. Following behind her, I was certain something was very wrong. She was not one to overreact. Normally, she was a pretty calm and collected person. However, once we arrived in the room, it was empty. Just the mirror on the wall. Staring at it, I could swear it was a bit less cloudy around the frame. It almost looked newer, if that was possible. We sat silently on the couch for a while. I didn't want to press the issue, but I think she could tell I wanted to know what she saw. Finally, she explained what had happened before I got home. About halfway through the day, she got home and was surprised to see me in the bedroom. She went to talk to me and get a change of clothes. However, all I was doing was sitting on the bed looking forward. I wouldn't talk to her, I just nodded my head and had this creepy smile on my face. After ignoring a barrage of questions, she said that she got this feeling that she was not safe. That instinctual knowledge that can't be explained, but you know it when you feel it. She closed the bedroom door and left the house. She went to stay at a friend's place for a couple of hours just to try and escape. Then, when she got back, she left the bedroom door closed. She figured that I was having some kind of mental breakdown and didn't want to make it worse. All she heard was me pacing back and forth in the room, and then when I showed up, it just stopped. I explained what I saw in the mirror the night before and that I believed it was a mistake to buy it, that we needed to get rid of it. My wife grabbed a hammer from the closet and was ready to be done with it once and for all. But I stopped her before she went into the room. I still don't know if it was a mistake to keep her from bashing in the mirror, but I had this feeling that the mirror was holding something or someone, and that breaking it would give them a way out that couldn't be undone. like opening Pandora's box or something like that. Instead, I called up my friend Taylor, who worked at a pawn shop. I figured he would know what to do with it, or at least get it off our hands. When we got there, he inspected the mirror and seemed shocked that we bought it for $20. His guess was that it was worth closer to $2,000, and he knew an antique collector who would want it. Taylor also said that it was good that we didn't break it, because it was a mercury-backed mirror. Apparently, older mirrors used to be made with mercury instead of silver. However, the practice was abandoned, seeing as how it often poisoned the mirror maker. These things could be dangerous if not handled properly. Taylor said he'd be in touch tomorrow and have someone pick it up. To us, it just seemed like an uneasy blessing. I mean, sure, we were going to make some money and get this thing away from us. The problem was, now we had to spend another night with it. We decided to sleep in the living room instead of the bedroom. Neither of us wanted to get anywhere near that thing. It was an uncomfortable situation for sure. On one hand, it was about to give us a large payday. On the other hand, we felt like we needed to bury it in the woods and have it forgotten about. Somehow, we managed to fall asleep that night, even though we were both pretty freaked out. I guess the fear and exhaustion had finally taken its toll. However, after a couple of hours, I woke up with my wife staring at the door of the bedroom, sitting up on the couch. I got up and asked her if everything was all right. She turned towards me and nodded with a smile. I assumed she was having trouble sleeping too. She got up and went to the kitchen, and I went over to the window. But outside the window was something that my mind could not register, was unable to process for a split second. Outside was my wife smoking, obviously trying to calm her nerves. But if that was my wife, who was in the kitchen right now? Turning around, I saw the mirror version of my wife charge me with a kitchen knife in hand, a wicked smirk painted on her face, while nodding her head as if to answer a question no one asked. I would like to tell you that I had the courage to face this thing and get rid of the mirror from my house, but all I could do was run out the door and hold it in place. This was my only option to keep us safe. I could hear it slashing at the door and slamming against it. I was certain it would break any moment. I gripped the doorknob as tight as possible, doing everything I could to prevent it from turning. But my grip was slowly failing. Its resolve and determination to get to us was unyielding. My wife had the foresight to bring her keys with her outside. Guess she knew from the beginning that we might need to flee the house. She opened the passenger door for me and jumped in on the driver's side to start the engine. All I heard was her cry for me to run, and knowing that I was nearing the end of my strength, I ran towards the sound of her voice. Seeing the open car door, I jumped in and we took off down the road. We slept in the car that night. No way we were going back to the house with the mirror. We got a call from Taylor that morning, saying that he stopped by the house and noticed the door was open. He asked us if we still wanted to sell the mirror to the dealer. We pleaded for him to remove it from our house, that we didn't care about the money anymore, we just wanted it gone. I tried to tell Taylor that it was cursed or haunted, but he was just unable or unwilling to believe me. Just said he would take care of it, and that was the last we heard about it. Once we got the all clear from Taylor, we went back to the house, thanked him for taking care of it, and then tried to get back to normal. He left an envelope with money from the sale of the mirror on our coffee table, but we could never spend it. It felt like we had done something horrible by selling that mirror to someone else. How could we profit from it? Instead, we just put the money in the safe and tried to forget about it. Unfortunately, I could not forget. I'm not sure if it was the guilt or the knowledge that something like that existed, but it left a permanent scar on my psyche. The mirror tried to drain and replace us. That was my theory, at least. The thought that haunts me now is, what if it succeeds with the next owner? Ghastly here. If you enjoyed this story, consider liking the video. It is the best, and it's a free method to support my work. Next, I'd recommend checking out 4 Stories to Keep You Up at Night for that Halloween scary story kind of atmosphere. Until next time.